So where did you get the idea for Once in My Life?
Well, a friend of mine, good friend of mine, who's actually co-director of the film, a fellow named Mark Morman, who probably works with you a lot as well. Mark came to me, and he had heard about the band through his friend Javier Pena, who's the band director. And I think Mark originally was like, is this realistic? Can we do this? And I think it was probably, how do we raise money? So I went down with my wife, and we met the band, and got a chance to see who they were, and it was so obviously rich in story. There's so many great characters within this group, and so immediately we said, we got to figure out how to make it happen. And our next goal is to go out and raise money, and 2 years later we had the film completed, and we're still trying to figure out how to raise the money. But it's been great. It's been a great process, and that's basically how it evolved.
So you shot it on a Panasonic HBX200.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And you were able to trick that camera into getting some special audio for me. Tell me about that.
Well, one of the things the band plays, it's the process of the band is it's actually an extracurricular activity within the Goodwill. They have a manufacturing plant. They employ people with disabilities. So they have this large plant where they make military uniforms, actually, that are under contract. So it's a very loud environment where we had to film. Right to the side of the manufacturing plant is the musical room where the musicians learn their skills. So either we're in a factory or we're in a musical room where somebody's blowing a trumpet. So we needed to be able to find a way that we could record sound, and also the majority of the people in the band have pretty severe disabilities and have fairly strong verbal communication disabilities or problems. So we needed to be a way to be able to capture what they were saying and to work in kind of the harsh environment of a factory and a place where people were learning to play musical instruments. The thing I loved about the Panasonic is not only did we be able to have 2 tracks of audio between a shotgun and a lavalier, or whatever combination we decide to go with, we also had the ability to have 2 stereo mics on the camera. And it is so many times those 2 little mics on the camera saved us getting audio that we would have never been able to have. And our story as a filmmaker is as much about audio as it is picture. We need to be able to capture great audio.
Sure.
Those moments are just really essential to us, and it was a great asset.
And your post-production process is very 21st century. I understand that you had a lot of help from New York at a place called the Edit Center.
Correct.
Now, how did you keep the versions of your film concurrent between the Miami and the New York guys?
Well, one of our goals was we needed at some point in time, we realized that we wanted to make the story entertaining. We wanted to get a story consultant or a story editor. So we looked high and low, found an editor in New York who worked at a place called the Edit Center. The Edit Center, so how did our little low-budget film with no money, how would we be able to use such a person? Her name is Amy Foote. We made clones of our drives, sent one to New York. I had one in Florida, and we had another editor here in Florida, Brian Baer, working on it as well. And we were able to send XML files to one another. So as long as our clones matched, and if I went out and shot new footage, I sent it to everyone, and everybody placed it in the same file. Our MXL files, which we would send to one another over an FTP file, or over FTP server, we would be able to link up immediately. So our editor would work for a day. At the end of the day, Amy would send me her cut on an XML file. I would look at it, I would comment, I would make notes. In the meantime, maybe there was an interview that I would be working on, and I would find the bits and pieces that I liked. I would make an XML file, send it to her. She would see what I was thinking. And over really a 5-month period of time, we communicated that way. I, at times, would go to New York and I'd spend a day with her. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the majority of the film was made in that process.
That's amazing. So cloned versions of the same hard drive and an exchange of XML cut lists so that you can see the kind of work going on.
Exactly.
And so one more question about the Edit Center. At times, you found some extra inspiration from some other editors, some other storytellers. Tell me how that went.
Right. One of the things Amy working at the Edit Center, she's developed a good relationship with the owner, a guy named Alan Oxman, who's definitely one of the gurus of Final Cut Pro. They have a school there. They teach Final Cut. Most of the students are graduate students. We use them. They approached us, the Edit Center approached us and said, we're looking for material, good material to teach our students. So we said, great. So we gave them sections of our film and they would work on them. And they would cut them, they would change the story back and forth. They'd send us the XML files. I would look at it. It opened up ideas. It opened up our head. It made us see footage that we hadn't seen before. It worked very well. So we had 21 editors working on our film besides ourselves working on it. And I can't say that there's a direct cut that we ever used, but there was a major asset in being able to see our footage. I eventually did go up and meet each one of them individually. I could see the passion they had. That helped me. It was just a really great process.
And do you have any closing words for us about the passion, about the project, about the story?
Well, a bottom line for us is that the film, from the day that really Mark and I went in and we sat down with the people at Goodwill and they agreed to let us come in and make the movie, our goal is always to get the story out, the mission out, that people with disabilities can really change our perception. They can do things. Our film has always been about abilities more than disability. And our mission was never about really making money. Of course, we'd like to be able to, to cover the last 2 years, but to be able to get the word out. Shooting on this little camera, being able to upload it to the HD cam. We're now projecting on 35-foot screens, 60-foot screens at South by Southwest, getting a very good picture. And potentially, we're going to be able to really show the world what these folks can do.
Fantastic, man. Jim, I want to thank you so much for coming on our show today.
Thank you very much.
It was great to have you. I hope you'll come back and see us again.
Thank you.
All right. So we're coming to the close of the Dot Video Show. I just want to remind everybody, this is an audience participation thing. Come to our studio, have a beer, ask us questions, log in, hit the chat room, send us your questions, send us your comments. Get on our field production teams. Do a little bump for us. Say you're watching the Dot Video Show with Jesse Miller. We would love to have you guys out here. Once again, my staff is really what makes this show happen. Tech guru extraordinaire Verge Castillo saved the show today after a 3 p.m. hard drive crash. He does amazing work. Our web guru, that's Tom Morton from On the Spot Tees. Log on to his website and check it out. My camera guys, Tommy Anthony, Scott Lenter, and superhero Renato Lombardi from American Country Broadcast. We really appreciate your help. We have Miriam Valdez of Entertainment Incorporated on our audio board. You guys do an outstanding job once every month. Signing off, Jesse Miller, Dot Video Show. Thank you all for watching. Come see us again. Thanks, guys. All right.
Grab a drink, pull up a chair. If you need inspiration, you'll find it right here, because it just don't get any better than the Jesse Miller Show. So grab a drink, have a smoke. Stay tuned for information coupled with jokes. The imitators can't do it like this. This is a show you can't afford to miss, because the more you know, the better you are, and the better you are, the more you can charge, and we'll do it for free at jtown.tv. If you are in South Florida, you already know the experts are at Midtown Video. Now we broadcast live to the whole fucking world, the sun and the moon and the birds and the squirrels. Cause the more you know, the better you are, and the better you are, the more you can charge, and we'll do it for free at jtown.tv. Because you know a lot, but there's always more to know. And it's brought to you by Midtown Video. The Jesse Miller Show.